Do you believe that just 500 rupees could save a life, but only after decades have passed? Today's story will not only bring tears to your eyes, but also make you believe that even the smallest act of kindness can return like a miracle. Listen until the end, because the final moment might leave your heart silently aching. Welcome to Buddha and Mindfulness, where we share stories that touch the heart, awaken compassion, and shine a light on the power of kindness. Today, we invite you to listen to a small story that carries a big lesson about gratitude and selfless compassion. But first, please subscribe to Buddha and Mindfulness to support us in making new videos every day. Thomas was a boy born into a poor family in a rural part of India. When he was just 6 years old, he lost his mother to a high fever that couldn't be treated. From that day on, only his father, a steel factory worker, remained as his sole support. Though his wages barely covered their basic needs, his father always set aside what little he could to pay for Thomas's school fees, believing that education was the only path to a better future. By the age of 13, Thomas had learned to manage the household on his own. He would wake up at 4 in the morning, cook breakfast, prepare food for his father, and then head to school. Life was hard, but it made him mature beyond his years. One evening, when his father returned from work, he found their small hut filled with smoke. Thomas was coughing badly, trying to cook using damp firewood. His father panicked, rushed him outside, and asked lovingly, "Why didn't you let me cook today?" Thomas smiled weakly and replied, "You work all day and come home tired. I come home earlier, so I should cook." That day happened to be his father's payday, so they decided to eat out at a small village stall, sharing a rare moment of joy in their difficult life. Disaster struck when Thomas's father had an accident at the factory. A heavy sheet of metal fell on him, severing both his arms. After 5 months in the hospital, he returned home with stumps where his hands once were, his eyes filled with despair. Sitting silently by the doorway, he whispered, "I've already lost your mother, and now my hands. The dream of seeing you become a doctor, I suppose that's gone too." Thomas sat beside him, held his arm gently, and said, "Dad, that dream still lives. I will become a doctor, I promise, no matter how hard it gets." From that day on, Thomas went to school during the day and sold soap door to door in the evenings. Every small amount he earned was used to buy rice and pay for school. One day, however, he reached his breaking point. It was the final deadline to submit his medical college application, and he had not made a single sale all week. That evening, he had no money left and no strength. He decided to knock on one last door, thinking that if they didn't buy, he would at least ask for something to eat. A kind middle-aged woman opened the door and looked at him with gentle eyes. She handed him a glass of water, some biscuits, and asked, "What grade are you in?" Thomas replied with a trembling voice, "I just finished high school, but I didn't sell anything today. I don't have money to submit my college application. How much do you need?" She asked softly. 500 rupees, he whispered. Without hesitation, she walked inside, came back, and placed the money in his hands. "Go, child. Your future is worth far more than money." Years passed, and through sheer determination, Thomas became a skilled doctor and opened his own clinic in the city. One afternoon, the hospital received a critical patient, an elderly woman with severe tuberculosis. She had no family and no money. A nurse quietly informed him, "Her treatment will be very expensive, and I don't think she can pay." Thomas calmly responded, "That doesn't matter. Saving lives is what matters." For 2 months, he cared for her personally, monitoring every breath and dose with tireless dedication. When the old woman had recovered, a nurse handed her an envelope. Afraid, she slowly opened it, expecting a large medical bill, but instead found a small handwritten note. It read, "Your treatment was paid for long ago, with 500 rupees you once gave to a boy who was selling soap. That boy is now a doctor, and he is the one who saved your life." The woman was speechless. Tears rolled down her cheeks. Thomas entered the room with a gentle smile and said, "You gave me a chance to live a different life. Today, I'm simply repaying that kindness." Dear friend, sometimes a small act, a gift that seems insignificant, can become the light that guides someone's entire life. When you help someone without expecting anything in return, you may be planting a seed for a future brighter than you can ever imagine. Thank you for listening to today's story on Buddha and mindfulness. If you believe in the power of kindness, share this story with someone you love, and don't forget to subscribe for more heart-touching stories. See you in the next video. Buddha and Mindfulness. Stories and teachings for a mindful life.